Hello everyone, welcome to another constructed video on MTG Arena. So, today I am playing Esper Control, and you might have seen that I've titled this deck White-Black lowercase u Control, because this is a little bit different than the Esper Control decks are in general. Usually they are playing heavy blue to play things like Absorb or Sinister Sabotage. They try to draw cards with Chemist's Insight, and that's their main way to get ahead. Instead, this is actually a white-black control deck with just a little bit of blue in it. And there are only two really important cards in the main deck that the blue is for. Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, is one of the most powerful cards in Standard. That shouldn't be a surprise to anyone that you bend over backwards to fit him into your control deck. And then Quench is a form of early interaction that really helps you stay in the game against other control decks. I tried playing just straight white-black for a while, and my enemies would just drop a Wilderness Reclamation on 4, and if I didn't have a Mortify for it immediately, I just kind of lost the game, because they had an immense mana advantage that I just couldn't keep up with. Being able to interact on the stack is pretty important in control mirrors, and this card gives you a lot of leverage to actually work in those matchups. Now, why play the extremely white-black heavy version instead of a blue-heavy version? The obvious answer is Kaya's Wrath. We haven't had a 4-mana player phase Wrath in a long time. Like, Supreme Verdict rotated a long time ago, and I think that was the last one. So, yeah, it's been years since we've had this effect. But, surprisingly, the card that's actually impressed me the most that has the white-white-black-black mana cost is Basilica Bell-Haunt. This card is sort of reminiscent of Siege Rhino meets Nicol Bolas the Ravager. It enters, it's a relatively big body, it gains life, so it helps to stabilize against aggro decks, but then it also is guaranteed card advantage. Like, it just makes them discard a card. So in control mirrors, you just kind of stick this down, you start applying pressure, and even if they kill it, you're up a card. It has been fantastic, and I really love this card. Rest of the deck is pretty straightforward, just interactive or card advantage cards. Dawn of Hope is a win condition and also card advantage engine. I love this card in any deck that's slow. It's just excellent. Treasure Map, the best card draw spell out of blue. If you're not playing heavy blue card draw in a slow deck, you should have 4 of these. It's excellent. And then, yeah, just interaction, Mortify, a couple main deck Duress, Fungal Infection. I'm really liking the Eldest Reborn. It works well with Basilica Bell-Haunt, because often you'll end up making them discard or sacrifice some... You'll make them discard some big threat, because they won't be ready to play it yet, and then you can reanimate it with this thing. The only weird cards are really Ethereal Absolution. I'm not entirely certain on this card. In some matchups it's been incredible, and in a lot it's been pretty whatever. I really liked Curse of Death's Hold in Standard, but it's possible that this just isn't the right format for that type of effect. And Consecrate Consume has been awesome. You can use it to just hose people if they try to interact with the graveyard by cantripping and getting rid of their target, like if they try to use a Memorial to Folly or something like that. And then Consume is an edict that hits the biggest thing, so making people sacrifice is pretty bad against the Carnage Tyrant decks, because often they'll have, like, Llanowar Elves and stuff. Unless, of course, they aren't allowed to sack the Llanowar Elves, and then it's great. Moving on to the sideboard, really typical control sideboard. If you've seen me play control before, you get it. Go up to the max amount of Duress, slide in a bunch of Negates, Moment of Craving to beat red, extra Mortify in case of enchantments or if I need to blow up bigger creatures. Same kind of with Consecrate Consume. Kaya's Wrath if I want to go up to the full playset of Wrath effects, be able to wipe the board. And 2 Lyra Dawnbringer, good against mid-rangey decks that side out their creature removal and also good against red. Finally, I have 3 Unmoored Ego. I'm not sure about this card. I was losing a lot to the Turbo Fog decks, I just really couldn't keep up with them. But they also sideboard into creatures, so really it's a matter of, if I cast this to get rid of the Nexus of Fates, can I then beat the rest of their deck with what I have left over? And I think the answer is yes, but I don't know if it's worth 3 sideboard slots. It's hard to say, and so if any card is going to get cut from the sideboard, it would be this. but I'm still playing it for now because I don't really have anything better. The rest of our matchups feel pretty good as long as you draw the right half of the deck. So that's all for the deck tech. I will go ahead and get into the games. Okay, first match with Esper. I've just been calling this slow control because, oh my, this deck does not do anything quickly. Okay, a couple counter spells and a card advantage engine. We need to draw a bunch of white, but that's fine. The rest of the hand's great, and this will help us get there. Okay, so I could hold up Quench here, or I don't think it's that likely that I really need to do anything on 2, so I'm actually going to take this opportunity to stick the treasure map. If they might sneak something good in here, and I'll regret having done this already, but I think this was, yeah, I'm fine with that. We can take a million hits from that, and it's totally fine. Do I pay 2 life to be able to activate treasure map? I think I do. I think it's really important that I get this going. I need to hit my land drops. I mentioned that this card has been bad in some matchups. If opponent's playing like an Aristocrats deck, yeah. I think I'm just going to go ahead and counter that. This card's really annoying. Then Ethereal Absolution will be excellent. Alright, let's look for a white land. No, that card is quite bad here. Okay, I was thinking about activating this upkeep, but decided not to. I'm just going to pass here. Again, leaving up Quench and activating treasure map. Another card that I absolutely do not want to resolve. I don't want to Kaya's Wrath and have them draw 3 cards. That would be terrible. Bell-Haunt, unfortunately, to the bottom. Now, because I don't have anything else to do. Huh. It glossed over the stop that I set. That's unfortunate. I guess if you set it in the middle of the last turn, it doesn't register yet. That's fine. Again, I did get a good draw for the turn, so that's nice. Really want to hit our land drops here, but we'll hit the land drops eventually. That's fine. Huh. And I kind of wish I hadn't quenched the first one because I ended up drawing the Moment of Craving. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think we're going to save Quench for something that's, like, actually scary. I am going to go ahead and Moment of Craving this. Just get it off the table. At some point I'm likely to Kaya's Wrath or whatever, and I just want to make sure that's not on the table for me to do that. Godless Shrine, perfect. Can go ahead and... if I played this untapped, I can Dawn of Hope and leave up Quench and draw a card. Yeah, I'll play a little aggressively with my life total here. If we draw a 6th land, we'll probably just slam this. Card will be excellent. I'm glad that I left up mana the way I did, because, again, Midnight Reaper, very scary card. Okay, as long as their last card isn't Mortify, I think we are, yeah, we are just in great shape here. Yep, sure, take 2. Let's find a land, shall we? Perfect. Alright, I'm going to take a turn off from activating Treasure Cove, because we don't need to activate Treasure Cove. Because this should basically end the game. Yep, you get a spirit. Oh no, the spirit died too. Terrible. Would be very surprised if we managed to lose the game from this point. Yeah. Clearly they don't have any Mortifies in their deck, or maybe they just decided they were done, but basically impossible for them to come back from that. So, what do we bring in here? Edicts, very bad. Don't want any of that. I could see wanting some amount of the Consecrate half. They showed Memorial to Folly. Excuse me. But, I don't think that's where I want to be. Go ahead and bring in the last Wrath. Wraths are kind of whatever against this type of deck, but better than normal spot removal. And I guess we bring in a couple Lyras. Maybe I want to cut the Duresses because I didn't see any targets. Moment of Craving, again, pretty whatever, but it keeps my life total healthy and it kills the 2/2 that gains Indestructible, and that card can be really annoying. Overall, I think we're fine. I wish I had another copy of this in my sideboard, but hopefully one is enough. We can stay alive with everything else and just know. I think we can win the game without it, and knowing that we have an absolute lights-out trump card is a good place to be. Sure. Early counterspell, get rid of the annoying thing, stabilize the board, and also get a card out of their hand. Seems good to me. Okay, they're taking 2. Oh, that's sad. Oh well. As long as we draw something good, I think we're going to be fine. The problem with decks like this is they really need a critical mass of cards to play the game. Like, here, they were on the play, and so far they have taken a card out of my hand, which is annoying, and they played a 1/1 for 1. I realistically never have to answer this. Like, it can stay on the board until the end of days, and it is not going to kill me, because I'm just going to answer it by playing that card I wanted to anyway. Okay, that's a good draw. We're going to need to draw a finisher, like draw a Teferi, or at least a treasure map or something like that. But, overall, I like how this game is going so far. Huh. I could kill that because it's kind of annoying that it has Death Touch. Nah, I'm not gonna bother. If they want to just attack with this, that is acceptable. Alright, I have double black and double white, so I can play whatever land. The alternative here was playing Dawn of Hope and Moment of Craving, because then at some point I could Bell-Haunt and use the trigger to draw a card off Dawn of Hope. Oh, that's a little irritating. Well, I will go ahead and block this guy, because I can actually block the tokens that it creates. Would really love to draw a Mortify for Teysa. Well, you can't always get what you want, but when you try sometimes, you get what you need. Yeah, just go ahead and pass the turn. I kind of want them to attack again because I can block and then Mortify Teysa, give them only 1 spirit when they were kind of expecting 2. No, not attacking here. Maybe attacking with everything? This is a really weird attack. Okay, this makes more sense. Yeah, I'm fine with doing this. I'm kind of pricing myself into taking 1 a bunch of times. But the thing is, I'm about to gain 3 back with my Bell-Haunt, and I'm going to also draw a card off Dawn of Hope, and as soon as I get that going, basically what's going to happen is I'm going to just start making 1/1s all the time, and I can trade away for their board, and I'm also just going to gain a lot of life. Like, as long as I don't just die to this, which I'm not going to because their aggro plan is a little mopey. Oh, that's sad. Well, okay. Huh. So I need to draw another card advantage engine. They either... I'm guessing they brought in the Mortifies. They probably didn't have them in the main, just based off how they've been playing. No tax. So yeah, I feel like we're in a good spot. My deck is going to be filled with a lot more power than theirs is. They don't have any cards like Teferi. I'm just going to do this. None of that. Okay, another mildly irritating card. We do need to actually draw something. Can't really attack in. I guess we kinda can. That's an interesting question. The problem is trading here is really bad. Yeah, I'm just gonna pass. Holding on to my Field of Ruin because they showed us Memorial to Folly. Oh god. That is a really good draw and is going to kill us relatively quickly. Really go for Vraska's Contempt. Oh boy. Yeah. We're going to need to draw something. If we don't, we're going to lose, and it's going to be kind of frustrating. Oh, come on! Oh boy. We've drawn a lot of lands in a row, and they've drawn the perfects twice in a row. That's pretty frustrating. Oh. Yeah, we're basically dead here. Like, there's not really anything we can draw to save us, but... Yep. Huh, not attacking with both? Did they draw another one? No. That's super weird. Well, because they didn't attack with both, we're, like, still playing the game, and this was a really good draw. So... they might be about to get punished really badly for how conservatively they've been attacking and stuff. Yep, sure. If they just keep attacking with one, yeah, like, this loses so much time for them. Do they maybe have a removal spell and they're going to kill their own? I don't think that's very good. I think they'd be better suited killing one of these. But yeah, like, we should have been dead this turn, and instead now it's going to take them a long time to finish us on board. Okay. I mean, that puts us in a better spot, if not a good one. It'll give them 4 spirit tokens, which will still take 3 turns to kill us, but we're on a 3-turn clock anyway. Actually, 4 turns to kill us, because we're going to gain 2 here. There's maybe some argument for attacking first, but I don't know. I'm not sure how that turns out well for us. They probably just block... They probably can tell what we're doing, and they're just gonna block with a couple 1/1s there, and then they're just up 2 life, and we didn't change anything else. Okay. Now, if we draw our Ethereal Absolution, the game is sort of over, unless they have another Mortify. But, yeah, they really wanted to give both of their Seraphs Vigilance and be smacking me with both of them. They could have closed the game real early that way. Yep, Horizontal Enforcer, sure. Ethereal Absolution. Okay, that is not the worst thing that I've ever drawn. It's not the best thing. They have us on a 2-turn clock, but... I'm going to go ahead and set the stop for my upkeep right now. Unless the perfect card is on top, I want to scry on their end step and on my turn. Resolves. That's not good enough. It could keep us alive another turn, but... it's not worth an entire draw step. That's also not good enough. And we drew land. Okay. Basically, I thought we were about 90% to win that game, and then they mortified our Dawn of Hope and had the perfect draw every turn after that, and it just kind of all went to crap. But that's fine. Still don't think there's a better configuration for our deck. I'm gonna run with this. Basically, I wish this deck could play, like, 6.5 treasure maps. Oh. Okay, sure. No, do not need 5th land. Go to main phase? That was weird. It, like, carried over my stop from last game, I guess? Strange. This hand has really good mana, can cast every spell in our deck. Okay, drew a 5th land anyway. That's okay. We don't really have good 3s to be playing on turn 3, so I am going to upkeep treasure map. Definitely don't want that land. Let's go ahead and draw for turn. Cool. So go to main phase. If they were going to mortify this, they were going to do it at some point anyway. I'll go ahead and give them the target right now. Not going to treasure map next turn because I want to stick our Bell-Haunt on 4, stabilize the board against this, get a card, gain 3 life. Excellent play overall. Feeling a lot better about this game because basically if they don't have a Mortify, their deck's just going to have a lot of trouble beating this card. It's just an infinite supply of 1/1s that gain us life and draw cards. Okay, not a great draw. And then we also just have the treasure map going. This will fix a few draws and then draw 3 cards. Can't really hope for much better than that. Next turn we can play the plains, get a soldier, and activate treasure map. Okay, note to self, don't try to activate abilities on their turn. Tithe Taker makes that a sad experience. I'm just going to go ahead and take 2 here. I want to get rid of this Midnight Reaper first. Don't let them draw cards for no reason. Mortify is actually a fine draw, because it will get rid of this, and then we can start eating their creatures. No attacks. We're going to take some damage here, probably take 4, but that's fine. Okay, that is kind of bad news? Not really bad news? Surprised they didn't attack with this. But basically, this will make us sacrifice creatures, but we are in the market to have all the 1/1 creatures we could ever want. I'm gonna go ahead and just mortify this right now, and now I actually can pass the turn, because treasure map costs 2 to activate, and I don't have anything else to do with my mana, so... The only really bad thing here is if they can, like, kill this and then activate the priest, but it's not like it's the end of the world if I lose a Bell-Haunt. We're gonna need to draw something, like some form of interaction, but basically any, like, set of removal spells or sweeper, or even, like, another Bell-Haunt backed up by, like, this. I think we're gonna win the game without too much trouble. Tesla Karlov, yep, another really annoying card. Need to find, like, another Mortify, but that's why I didn't activate the treasure map, because I want to wait the maximum amount of time to see this. Like, I wanted to see what they were going to do. Huh. I'm gonna go ahead and block this one. I don't want to block with my soldier, because again, I want to leave it around to sack to an edict, but they were gonna get double value off of these anyway. Go ahead and get this Tithe Taker off the battlefield. But, yeah, they were going to get these triggers anyway, whether I block or not. They've got the priest going, so I'm just gonna start chewing through their creatures. Yep, 2 Afterlife, sure. As before, if we find Ethereal Absolution ever, we kind of just win the game. See what they're doing here. Lose 2 life, go ahead, sack my 1/1, that's fine. See if they have anything to do with the mana. Sure. Yeah, like I said, we need a little bit of help here. Mortify is acceptable. Go ahead and get her off the battlefield. Let's draw a card first. Quench? Fine draw. Or, yeah, not quenching it. Kill her. You kind of want to wait on this type of thing, because if they have another one in hand and they just slam her, I'm going to feel dumb. But, well, not really, because I've got the Quench. But, on the flip side, like, this activates and the creature's dying as part of the activation, so I can't, like, respond to it. So, if I let them untap, they're threatening to at any time get 4 spirit tokens. I would love it if they just cast no spells at all. I can go ahead and make a soldier. Um, so I can make a soldier, block here, block there. I lose my guy, but I just keep chewing through their creatures. I think I'm just going to block here. Sure. Um, yeah. That's just not really how they wanted this turn to go. Like, they just didn't get in for damage. If they were going to mortify it, they should have just done that. I could have quenched that, but I was fine with losing my Bell-Haunt at that point. I really want to start making soldiers and drawing cards. Sure. This is super weird. Like, did they really, really want the mana? Maybe? Yeah. I mentioned I wanted to start making soldiers, but I want that card to not happen much more. I could make a soldier here, but that's a really bad value. Cool. I guess I will draw a card first, just to be sure, but go ahead and shutting down their nonsense is where I want to be. They still have a lot of cards in hand. Activate this in response so I don't get cheesed. Would love to draw, like, another Bell-Haunt here. That would be fantastic. Excuse me. Okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to do is just draw a card. Treasure Map is a fine draw. We have 8 mana, so we can play and activate. If we shock, we can play, activate, make a soldier, and draw a card off of one of the soldiers dealing damage. Or if I don't shock, I can play, activate, trade, and just draw a card. I think I'm going to do that one. And I have 6 mana here. I'm just going to... I'll go ahead and do this now. Yep. I figured there was a reasonably high chance that I was just scrying away a mana anyway, so... And here I'm playing a little bit loose with my life total, because I'm going to block and then draw a card, rather than just blocking as much as possible, but... blocking as much as possible just floods the board in spirit tokens anyway. I really want to draw cards, get to my powerful things. Okay, so I was hoping they'd attack with the Tithe Taker, but this also makes sense because this doesn't actually take power off the board for them. Yeah, they had the Mortify. That's pretty irritating. Their last card was kind of perfect, but... I'm gonna go ahead and set a stop on my upkeep. Crap! Oh, well. Okay, so, we are not in a perfect spot. I'm going to set the stop right now. We're looking to take a lot of damage here, which is unfortunate, but we get a lot of looks towards something good. We've got 3 Kaya's Wrath left in the deck. No. Is he good enough? I don't think so. I think we just need to... Let's see, we take 2 here. Actually, he might be. Just the extra card draw. Yeah, I changed my mind. I'm gonna go ahead and block here. Gain 1 up to 12, take 2 down to 10. I'm not going to activate upkeep. Go ahead to draw. Go to my main phase. Now I'm gonna do all this on my turn because Tithe Taker's taxing everything. I should have activated Treasure Map first. That was a mistake. So, bottom that. Set a stop for my next upkeep for the Treasure Cove. I could tuck this, and then I'm only taking 4 on board, but that's pretty whatever. Well, if we don't die, this card is kind of game over, so... Let's see what they do. They might be trying to go for the kill, or they might take out Teferi here. I'm fine either way, because, like, sure, I would love to keep my Planeswalker on the battlefield for after I blow up the world, but this way my life total stays high, I don't die to something weird. Cool. Oh, it was costing mana. I wondered why it didn't give me priority again. I'm not gonna bother with this, I think. No, I will. I have plenty of mana. Nope, don't want another land. Draw. Sure. Go to my main phase. This is actually neat because it'll kill an X2, even where Ethereal Absolution would not have. So... Yep, those resolve. Well, first match of the day, I'm certainly glad that I had this in my deck. I'm just gonna go ahead and pass. I can start eating things from their graveyard. They certainly have plenty of creatures, and make spirit tokens. I could have sacrificed a treasure to play Lyra instead, and maybe that's better. Just go ahead and get the game done with. Yeah. I don't really think it matters what I do here. The moment this landed, I think the game was over. This is so weird. Why does it prioritize, like, tapping one Treasure Cove, but not the others? Whew! That was a slog, but games with this deck are, so... Cool. Done with one. Let's get into the next matches. Okay, second match. I would say that I'm hoping for something to go a little faster than last time, but that's not really an option with this deck. We don't win quickly. Sweet. Card advantage and card selection, stabilizing, pressure, and card advantage, and card advantage. And especially against Hallowed Fountain, this hand is fantastic. Okay, looks like this is the Turbo Fog deck, which is unfortunate because this matchup is atrocious game one. Like, we can rack up a lot of card advantage, but it doesn't really do anything. Oh, I'm very happy to see that. Okay, this is like some sort of just Bant creature deck. I am fine with that. Go ahead and get this down. Next turn we can play Dawn of Hope and activate Treasure Map, and then start running away with the game with our Bell-Haunts. This likely to be good in this matchup, as opposed to against Turbo Fog, where it's technically good, because if you can stick it when they have a Teferi, you feel like a genius, but in actuality, it's just god-awful, because it just gets quenched. Okay. If this were like a control mirror, I would be very sad about this getting countered, but against a deck with Merfolk Branchwalker, we don't really need this card. Okay, let's see what we got. Another treasure map. I think I'm actually going to play that. I'm going to play a little aggressively with my life total here, because this lets me play around Quench. Notably, they have Frilled Mystic up, but we can't play around that card. It's just going to get us. Okay, Growth Spiral, sure. They didn't have a land to put in. That's a little scary. Means they have a lot of gas in hand. Would love to draw, like, a land and one of our main deck Duresses. Unfortunately, it's rather difficult to draw both of those in one card. Don't really want that. Mortify's okay. Could just pass back and forth here again and then Mortify this on end step. I'm just really scared of playing into a Frilled Mystic on our turn, because I think we're just going to get smacked for a million and then the game's going to kind of end. We won't be able to catch back up. Okay, they shocked that in. Let's see what they do if I Mortify this. This is a little dangerous because I think they're leaving up another Angel of Grace. But we can afford, if we keep our life total high, we can take 2 hits from one of those. Alright, let's see. They might also... They don't really know that we're heavy white-black with a blue splash. So, yeah, they're going to take this opportunity to do that. Okay. Alright, and here, this is cool because we're actually going to flip our treasure map. Do I want land 5? Yeah, I think I do. Because now, unless they have exactly Negate, no, don't tap my treasure cove. I actually want it this time. Like, we can pay for Quench here. So if they, unless they have Negate. Yeah. This is like one of the secret modes of treasure map that is so good, is the threat of cracking the treasures. Because, like, I don't want to crack these treasures for mana. They're much more valuable to me as cards. But because I had the treasures, Quench couldn't handle this. Growth Spiral, sure, that's just a cantrip. I'm fine with that. Okay, and now we're the ones in the advantage state. We're drawing lots of cards. We've got this as a card advantage engine. They want to play into this to do something about this, and then we get to slam our really powerful sorcery speed cards, so... it was a little risky topping that Mortify when we didn't have anything going on and we were just dying to a Merfolk Branchwalker, but I think it let us leverage this game into a really good position. Yeah, sure, whatever. Get their 6th land, that's good for them. Okay. Branchwalker, not Frilled Mystic, okay. I kind of assumed they'd play this and then just, leave up Frilled Mystic, but... apparently is not what they're interested in. Another Teferi is kind of annoying, but... okay, well, that's really good into them playing Teferi when they've shown that they don't have their 7th land, since they've just been waiting to hit their 6th. Yeah, okay, so they don't have a counter at all, because it just passed through there. Unless they were bluffing, but that would be tough. Okay, this is a fine card. Very bad against us, so... I'm fine with them playing that. Right now, I'm feeling pretty good about this game. If they try to play the Teferi, they're gonna get quenched. We're just racking up card advantage all over the board. Yeah, that game was super over. Especially because they were tapped low and we had our own Teferi. I think I would actually have taken their Angel. So, Fungal Infection, bad. Moment of Craving, okay, but I'm gonna cut them. We have enough removal everywhere else. And Ethereal Absolution, probably terrible. In the control mirror, we want Negates. We need to be worried, though, because they showed a fair amount of creatures, and so Negate won't save us from everything. I kinda wish we had, a 3rd Vraska's Contempt to bring in. I don't want to go too much more up on the Duress Negate plan. They showed a lot of creatures, and I think we need to play around that fact. Could maybe bring in another Mortify, since they're likely to have Search for Azcanta. Sure, I like that. Depending on how this game goes, we didn't actually see that much of their deck, and so we might want some amount of, Lyra Dawnbringer and that type of thing. Oh, wait, Kaya's Wrath is pretty bad. We'll trim those. Yeah, let's go ahead with Lyra's. Our biggest problem is neither our discard nor our hard counters can hit Frilled Mystic, so I'm kind of assuming they're playing 4 of that card, because it just seemed like I don't know why you're playing Bant Flash if you're not, but, that card is going to give us a lot of problems. Okay, this hand is great. We need to hit a blue for Quench, but Duress into Stick Dawn of Hope seems awesome. Alright, really want to hit a blue source sometime in the next couple turns. Okay. That's interesting. I think I just take Growth Spiral. Like, this is going to draw them some cards eventually, and I just don't want them to run away with the game by getting way ahead of me on lands, especially since I'm somewhat likely to miss my third. Perfect. I could stick this here. They've got the Deputy, and so they might just do that eventually. Do they have any other 3-drops I'm really scared about? Not really. I think I'll just play this, and then next turn I can hold up Isolated I can play Isolated Chapel, hold up both Mortify and Quench. I assume they're going to Deputy this. Yeah, that's fine. This isn't like a relevant amount of pressure, so I don't mind them being incentivized to get this on the table. So yeah, if they play something, I'll Quench it, and if they don't, I'll just Mortify this and get my Dawn of Hope back. Really need to draw a few lands here to at least get this going. Yeah, they didn't do anything. We'll see if they respond to this at all. Okay, nope. If I draw a land here, I think I'm in good shape. Did not draw a land. I'll go ahead and play this. Would really like to get that going. Cool. Hopefully this can scry us into some lands. We're on the back foot here. They're going to draw some cards, and then they're threatening to do this at any point. Yeah, sure. But if they, like, end step Angel of Grace next turn and we can Vraska's Contempt it, then we're in a fine spot. Definitely don't want that. And I suppose I actually don't want to do anything. Sweet, we hit our land. Because we can actually just Quench the Angel, and that's better because it also leaves up Quench. It leaves up Treasure Map and leaves up a Quench for a Teferi at a later date. Well, not this turn, because we still only have one blue, but yeah, that is perfectly acceptable. Alright, if they, like, slam a Teferi, we kind of have to, like, go for a Vraska's Contempt, because we can't really... Oh, they don't have land 7. Okay. So... I'm just gonna go about activating this. I don't think we want that yet. We really want to hit some land drops here. Have enough of the card advantage engine on our turn thing going on. Yeah, it looks like they're playing around Quench really hard, which is sad since we have 2, but I think we might have the tools to win the game anyway. Yeah, they're really playing around it. Yep, and ditching their own as they become worse. It's still pretty good against us because our hand's super clunky, but... But, like, if they don't do anything, then we have the good flash game just on the board. Like, we turn this into a land that draws cards, and we can even do that and then also make a soldier who will also start drawing cards. And even though I think we're slightly disadvantaged at that point, if they don't do something about this, we're going to run away with the game. Hell, we could, even if they played a Teferi, flip this and then double Quench, which would be kind of funny. We want land 6. I kind of do. I think we'd really just want to draw lots of lands here. Here we're tapped low, but we weren't going to counter the Angel anyway. We'll see if they put the Angel in here to eat this. Okay. Well, not going to say no to free cards. The onus is really on them to start doing something now. Like, even letting us draw 1 card off of this is scary for them. Okay, I'm gonna let this resolve. Keep the stop on our end step. I guess we're gonna get priority from this trigger anyway. And, I really want to get rid of this creature while they are tapped relatively low. And if they negate, we give up a treasure, but we can quench it. Close enough. Quench Disdainful Stroke. Contempt resolves. Okay. They have like one turn to do something really good here. Decline, because this is worth 2 cards, no need to draw 1 card off of it. They have one turn to do something powerful, mess us up somehow, but if they don't, we are in a very good spot. Okay. Let's see what they target. Probably Dawn of Hope? Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. Okay, draws them a land. Okay, negate is not bad. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7. So if I play a land untapped, I can Eldest Reborn, leaving up negate / quench. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. This is never going to get exactly what we want, given their board, so I'm just gonna get it going right now. Yeah, I'll use this opportunity to use our quench. Now, again, we're pretty vulnerable for like 1 turn here. If they play Teferi, it's going to be quite hard to win. But otherwise, we are quite advantaged. We've got another card in the bank, negate in hand. This is going to continue doing stuff. Sure, Growth Spiral. Please don't hit a Teferi. Bad draw, but whatever. Okay. Good draw, please. No. Well, okay then. Let's see. Got those exiled. Do we have anything fun in their graveyard? Not really. No attacks. I guess we get back a deputy, exile their deputy. Yeah, okay. They were done. They must have drawn a few lands in a row. Okay. Was that the match? Yeah, we did get a sideboard. Okay. That somehow against another control deck went faster. Cool. I'll be back for match 3. Okay, 3rd and final match. Let's see if we can finish out a 3-0. I understand that a lot of people want to finish games quickly, and I definitely have that urge myself sometimes. But a card like this is just everything I love about Magic. Just incremental advantage and gradually burying them. Ugh. I think an average 5 is better. Like, we have a play, but we need 2 lands to play anything. Okay. Alright, fine. Counting on this being a fantastic card. Yeah! This is certainly not a great matchup to be going down to nothing at all, but taking that, because if they Thought Erasure me, they get my Quench, which is, like, my only real spell, but, it's not like, this is always going to be very annoying, whereas this is mildly annoying. Punch it, make them think we got something going on. Alright. Do we Duress now? I think we do. There's the 2 unknown cards. This is kind of whatever. Go ahead and take Thought Erasure, I guess? No, because they'll just burn this for no value. So, this is a little tough. I'm gonna go ahead and take Mortify. If we stick a Dawn of Hope, we really want it to stick. So now we're in a control mirror, and neither player has, like, anything as far as resources. Yeah, that's what I was hoping for. 1 for zeroing themselves. Oh no, that was such a good surveil. Oh, that's really unfortunate. God, are they gonna hit a land too? No shocking for it. Interesting. Okay, well, we drew lands after keeping a 3-land 4-card hand. Yeah. Hope they didn't draw a counter. Please no counter. No, don't do it. Oh, come on! God dang it. Okay. Oh, I guess I don't need... Yeah, I think we had a really good shot until this absorb, but now they're gonna get to Chemist's Insight, draw up to 6 cards here. We've got nothing going on. And, like, hopefully most of their deck is just bad. Hopefully it's a lot more of this and this. Wow, that is... Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and pack it in. Save everyone's time. That's, there's no way we come back from this. Especially not drawing that card. Okay, so that was bad. This is much more the deck where we want all this stuff. Yeah, let's cut the garbage first. Okay, we cut the garbage and we still need more cards. I guess we can bring in some Lyras. And cut down on... Guess we cut the last one of these? Yeah, this looks like a solid control mirror build. Maybe I don't want this card, but... I'm uncertain whether this card is any good or not. Like, if they have a Dawn of Hope, this is the best card I can have. And I think that's reasonably likely that they at least board into one. We'll see. So, that game started suboptimally. It went basically as well as it could for us being on a multifor, but then Thought Erasure milling that, the Chemist's Insight, and then them drawing Absorb, presumably the turn that we played into it, was like, oof. If we'd drawn that treasure map any of the first million turns, we would have been in good shape. Sand is fine. We need to find lands, but we have the best card in our deck for doing that. And unless they have a turn 1 Duress, we're gonna get to stick it before counter magic or anything like that. Oh, please don't Duress me. Oh, God. Oh, that's so bad. Took Teferi, though. Well. Maybe they knew that we were very lucky and we're gonna draw out of it anyway. I guess I'll upkeep, do this, look for a land, and then stick the other treasure map. Okay, more discard. Okay, I would guess that they have their own Teferi, and they're looking to just run away with the game with that. Sure. Land is acceptable. Draw. Main. 2. Other treasure map. Let's hope that they don't have a Cleansing Nova in their deck post-board. Just blow up our treasure maps. Sweet, hit the land. Just gonna go ahead and pass here. That can activate both of these. Do we want another one of those? I mean, kinda. Nothing's happening yet. Okay, they didn't have a Chemist's Insight. Probably gonna Teferi here, if I had to guess. I think they know about both of these cards, so That's a little dangerous, though. Like, they might want to wait until they can really protect him. Land 5. Eh. Don't think that's what we're in the market for. 'Cause even after we eat through all these treasures, we're going to... then we'll have the treasure coves around as lands. Let's just go ahead and go to my turn. Okay, hit the land anyway. We'll just go ahead and pass here. Let's go ahead and draw a card. If we draw Quench, I would very much like to quench this. Oh, that was wrong. I should have... Yeah, I should have scryed with these first. Sad we drew our Field of Ruin against the only control player I've ever seen who doesn't just draw all of their Search for Azcantas every game. Okay. Name whatever you like, man. Don't even know what they're gonna name. Dawn of Hope, I guess? Teferi, maybe? They already got one, and we're only playing 2. Yeah, I don't think this is a good card to have in the control mirror. Yeah, they named Teferi. We're only playing 2. Sure. I want that land. It's a counter spell, but I think it's outliving its usefulness very quickly here. Okay. Draw more of that stuff. Let's go ahead and scry main phase. Oh my gosh, there's a big stack of lands on the bottom of our library. Here, I think I'm just gonna play my land and pass. Just keep drawing cards. We have a lot of cards in the bank. And we have 4 Duresses in our deck, and so that's why I'm just, like, nowhere near playing Lyra Dawnbringer. I think we can shred the resistance they have to her very easily. Okay. Good dude. Suddenly wish I had that Quench back. But, I don't know. The way they'd been playing, I didn't think they were going to main phase slam one of these, but how it goes sometimes. Let's find one of our good cards, shall we? That does not really count. That sort of counts. That also sort of counts. Alright, let's Duress, see what's going on. If they only have one counter, they might counter this anyway. No, they have every counter in the entire world. Holy crap. Yeah. So I'm going to take the second Teferi, because it's going to be hard enough getting through this one, and all of their counters are just great anyway. Let's see. Let's try to stick a Lyra. I think they're heavily incentivized to counter this. Yep. Means they have fallen into my trap. Because they're going to get to draw a lot of cards with Teferi. Unless, of course, they just downtick him on the Dawn of Hope. Which is kind of whatever. But if they don't immediately do this, which if they do that, they're not drawing cards, and we get to try to catch back up. Starting next turn, we're just going to start flooding the board in soldiers, and not care about their counter spells, because we're never going to cast another spell. Sure. That was a mildly scary card for them because it means these will be 2/2s. I'm not going to bother making a soldier this turn. It's just not a relevant amount of pressure by itself. It's like not a terrible draw. So let's count our mana. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we can activate 2 treasure maps and still make 2 soldiers. Okay. I have to imagine they boarded out most of their spot removal, like Mortifies and even Settle the Wreckage and stuff. So I think this is likely to be good. Okay, they didn't get any mana for free. That's fine. And eventually we might just draw into enough negates and duresses to just power through these counters. Yeah. Like... Teferi wins the very long game as far as card draw is concerned, because he can draw one card every turn forever, and our treasure coves will run out. But, he's going to have trouble in the immediate, because we're going to draw a lot of cards every turn. So again, 4, 8, 10. Doesn't really change the math to shock one of these in. I suppose it lets us activate an additional treasure cove? Yeah, that's actually fine. So first, we're just going to do this. Right now, my goal is basically draw cards and manage Teferi without spending mana. Or without casting spells. I am fine with spending mana. And actually, I changed my mind here. I'm not going to use up my precious treasures. I'm going to like keep the math the same and only draw one card. Like, I'm still going to be activating this, and I'm going to draw cards with Dawn of Hope instead. Because similar to Teferi, this can draw cards forever. Huh. So this is an interesting fight. They have 6 mana up, so they can absorb and negate to fight back if we try to negate this. If we negate twice... Huh. We only have 1 blue, but I can crack a treasure. Then we can stick a Vraska's Contempt on Teferi. I'm gonna fight over this, hoping that they fight back. Okay. I hadn't been thinking about that. I should have shocked in this Hallowed Fountain, considering we had double negate, because I really wanted all that blue. Okay. And here, they get our Dawn of Hope, which is sad, but, I'm going to conserve treasures, as I talked about before. Sure, they gain 3 life here. But now, we have the better board, we have equal number of cards in hand, and we've got 3 treasure coves with 3 treasures, so the onus is on them. And that's just classic how to win a control mirror. We just picked our spot. We saw an opportunity to force them to go all in on all their mana, trying to fight over my Dawn of Hope, and that left them vulnerable to losing to something else. So by picking our spot a little bit better than they did, we leveraged an immense advantage. Okay, we are flooding out kind of badly here. Huh. I guess I don't bother with that. Syncopate is basically a hard counter. So I guess I'll just keep doing these tapped. I can draw the cards on their turn, play around a discard spell. If they want a Thought Erasure and take my Mortify, that's fine. That said, I will go ahead and do it now. Okay. Holy crap! Do we still know? Yeah, there are 3 lands in the bottom 4 cards. Drawn a million. This is a little rough. Well, that's a good draw. We can't draw Teferis, but I believe that, yeah, there's still 2 more Dawn of Hopes in our deck. There's 1 more treasure map to draw a lot of cards. We have 4 Bell-Haunts to actually win the game. And we're very slowly winning the game as it is. Interesting. What are they counting their mana for? If they play their 5 mana, scry 3, draw 3, I will attempt to counter it, although I'm not super expecting that to work. Their deck seems to be extremely heavy on counterspells. Well, I'm also going to attempt to counter that. And we can pay for a Syncopate here. Does this cost a lot of mana? Okay, they didn't have another counter. Is that 3 Teferis down? Yeah, because we Vraska'd the last one. Okay. Sweet, good card. And this is also the turn after they played that Teferi, so they are tapped low, so they cannot properly Syncopate this. It's quite likely to resolve. I can't imagine this card is anything good, but we either get like a land or... Cool, we got that Syncopate that we were mildly worried about. And now we're closing the game much more quickly. Sure. You get my Mortify. Wow, okay. I said I can't imagine it's anything good, but suddenly we are not in a good spot anymore. Oh boy. I wish I were the one with Syncopate in my deck instead of Quench. I think this card is much better for the turns that my deck needs a counterspell, but oh boy. Ugh. I'm not gonna bother with this. If they have the card draw spell, they're just gonna cast it in response anyway. I'd rather use this to fight through a counter for like a Dawn of Hope or something later. Like that. Okay. It's Duress. Vraska's Contempt? Sure, that's a weird one to leave on top. And this is a reason I think we're advantaged in this type of matchup. We have so many more cards that matter. Like, they had a trillion counter spells and a bunch of discard spells. Like, we're the ones who boarded up to 4 Duress, and they had many more discard spells than us in this game. Yeah, we're gonna run away with this game pretty fast. Sure, let's do one more. Play this, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So, yeah, I'll just pass and make a couple more soldiers. This game is over, they should probably just concede. Like, I've already drawn many more cards than them, and I'm winning the game really quickly. Just don't really have any way to keep up with this. Unless I accidentally, like, mortify my own creature or something. And Dawn of Hope snowballs this way, in that, like, each turn that they let this happen, we draw more cards. And I'll draw one more. Actually one more now. Okay, I already played my land. Did I math this out incorrectly? I did. If I duress, then I don't get to... Then I don't get to make as many soldiers. That's fine, it doesn't change the clock anyway. Playing a little loose here, it gets really hard to manage. Oh, wow. They had him in hand and they didn't even try. I mean, it wouldn't have worked. We had all the answers in the world, but they might have wanted to try. Yeah, I think this is fine. We still don't know how they plan to actually win the game. We have not seen a win condition outside of Teferi, and you can technically win this way, but it doesn't really count. The odds of in a control mirror, like, completely taking over the game, and then leaving this card unmolested as both players naturally deck is, like, so unlikely. So, yep. Happy with this configuration. That game really did all come down to that one turn. Like, things were very close, and then I hit the Vraska's Contempt, and then managed to leverage tapping them out when they tried to play 3 spells in one turn. Waiting on your opponent. Last game. Hopefully not mulling to 4 again. This hand's not perfect, but it's pretty good. If we draw a black shock land, it's just kind of amazing. So yeah, we're gonna have a bit of a bumpy start because the lands don't really work, but... And that is an excellent draw. They have the same opener that we do. That's kind of funny. I'm just gonna go ahead and do this. Okay, they have all the counters in the world. They are welcome to Unmoored Ego, I think. I'm actually going to take this in case they name Dawn of Hope, because that is our best card against them, and we have 2 in our hand, and I would rather not lose them. So. I have changed my mind. Unmoored Ego is unbeatable, and we can't possibly keep up with what this does. Or whatever. So if we start playing cards, we're just playing them into counters, which I don't super love, because like if we hit a land, we can kind of beat a lot of these counter spells. Maybe run like my first Dawn of Hope into one. Okay, was really hoping they'd negate there, because I think this was a mistake on their part. Absorb and Negate hit almost all the same cards. Like, the only card it doesn't hit is Bell-Haunt. And, I really wanted to have them use their less efficient counter. That said, we're gonna need to draw some lands. Land situation is dire. Quench becoming bad very quickly. Hopefully they just slam a Teferi here and we get to quench it. That would be nice. Basically, the best thing that can happen for you in a control mirror is for your opponent to get impatient. So, I'm actually going to burn Quench here, because they can pay for it, but Negate is much more valuable, and then if they pay for this, then I'll get to stick either Treasure Map or Dawn of Hope, and I'm guessing they're not going to name Treasure Map with Unmoored Ego. That'd be really weird, but never know. And actually now I think we're probably in a pretty good spot. Yeah, because even if they take our Dawn of Hopes, then we get to start... Hell, if they... if we draw into a land, I'd probably actually Bell-Haunt, get the guaranteed card, get some pressure on board, and then they're the ones who are encouraged to do something. Can try to Treasure Map plus Negate later. If we don't hit a land, I'll just stick Treasure Map. They named Teferi again. I promise you, opponent, that card is not that important to us. I was much more scared of them naming Dawn of Hope. It's possible that their deck is just extremely bad at beating a resolved Planeswalker, and that's what I would guess, just from what we've seen. Like, I don't think we've seen any answers to something like that. Okay, go scry again, really want to hit land drops. That is an acceptable land drop. Draw. Main. Yeah, this is the problem with playing a control deck that is 100% answers. Like, they are really far behind, even though they've kind of controlled this game so far. Okay, drawing another land is good. I'm not going to try to do anything just yet. We can kind of sit back and wait and pick our turn. We could start trying to run them out of counterspells, but we've still got a bunch of discard in our deck, and so I would rather use that to try to pick through their shields. Okay. Yep, I think we're still just fine sitting back. We know they don't have any card draw, nothing else to use their mana on. And just draw cards and keep pulling ahead. Nothing else really to do here. Getting our land. So basically the question becomes, when do we start trying to fight through their stuff? We have an answer to a potential Teferi, so maybe we just want to eat through their counters right now. Fine with them using this one. They really should have just, like, syncopated for 1,000,000, I think. And we can go ahead and burn our Negate. Don't love burning Negate, but again, because we have an answer to a Teferi, we really just want to eat through their counterspells. Basically, the worst case scenario here is that they syncopate this. Yeah. We can't pay. That's fine. I don't actually care about anything going on here. Oh, I guess we should have tapped Field of Ruin with the Negate. Then we'd be threatening... No, Treasure Cove doesn't tap for colored mana, so not threatening anything either way. Do we stick a Dawn of Hope here? I think I do, actually. Giving up on a treasure, which is a little sad, but this is kind of our out to what I just described. If they slam a Teferi here and still have a hard counter for our Eldest Reborn, we will be very happy to have Dawn of Hope in play. Okay, draw our lands. Perfect. Yeah, and now we don't have to cast spells anymore. Suddenly, Absorb is very embarrassing when they're just losing to an enchantment that's already on the table. And again, this is how you run away with a control mirror. I'm actually just going to Duress here. This is still leaving up a Dawn of Hope activation, and we know we're guaranteed a hit. Sure. Yep. This game really just went the same way as the last one. Like, they had a lot of answers, and we had a few answers, but many more threats. And so, like, it didn't matter how many counterspells they had, we just got the better cards eventually. I'm actually going to decline drawing cards here, because we've already got 1,000,000 in hand, and we've got enough for double activating this. I could try to play a Bell-Haunt. Sure, I'll play one. They want to absorb this, whatever. If they don't, it gets a card and greatly increases our clock. Okay, so you saw us take forever to grind through Aristocrats, grind through Bant Flash, and obliterate the Esper control mirror in the 2 actual games we played. So I'm pretty happy with this Esper deck. I think it's quite good. It has a little trouble if you draw the wrong half against aggro decks. Like, if you just draw your stupid 5-mana cards against aggro, you just lose, but we've got a pretty good board plan with all the Moment of Craving and everything, so... yeah, I think this is a really good way to build Control right now. I think it's better than the heavy blue versions with blue card draw and stuff, because all of our cards are kind of just better. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video and you want to see more like it, hopefully some of which are shorter, I would love it if you could subscribe to the YouTube channel. It helps make sure you see all of our stuff and helps other people to find the content. That's all for today. Thanks for watching.